Welcome to Uyyarvu in Session, where we talk about mental health, healing, and stigma. My name is Veenaa, and I'm here with
Subanu. And in today's episode, Beyond the Books, we are talking about something that often goes unseen. So, the mental health of students who are navigating academic pressure, bullying, identity, family stress, and so much more.
So, how's your mental health looking right now?
It's been pretty decent.
That's
How about
good.
you?
I think pretty decent, but then again, I feel like my program is less intense than your program. So, how does that jump feel? Because she was just on co-op, so
Big 8 months co-op.
now you're in full-time school.
Yeah, another 8 months of school. Oh my God.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's definitely a jump from going from just doing remote work for a good 8 months of my life and then going back into having classes almost every day and then extracurriculars and then having to worry about post-grad and a whole lot of stuff, assessments, all that. So I say the jump. Yeah, it's fun, but it's definitely a lot. But it's like definitely much easier to get a handle of in comparison to like earlier years when
That's true.
I might have been not as much of exposed to the or aware of
Yeah.
the co-op life.
Oh my God, you're in your last year.
Yeah, we're
Exciting.
graduating.
We love.
Yeah, coming in STEM.
Yep.
But yeah. So,
Solid.
what are some of the most common mental health issues you see among students?
Anxiety, depression, the common ones, definitely stress. I feel like that's goes in with anxiety. The more stressed you are, the more anxious you are.
So, like the big three.
Big three. Best of three worlds.
3 worlds is crazy.
Yeah.
So,
What are some of the biggest mental health challenges that you have faced or like people that you know in school?
I feel like definitely stress or like anxiety for like on my part, maybe like depression or some sort like of some sort in like the first couple of years, but then more so recently it's just like stress. And I feel like the same goes for like friends as well. Like we're just all going through it because all the assessments are just thrown at us. We gotta take it in super quickly and just go with the flow. So it's definitely a lot, but yeah, I'd say like the big three are the ones that are most notable amongst my peers.
And how do things like deadlines, exams, and all these assignments contribute to that mental well-being? You touched on it a little
Yeah,
bit.
I feel like because there's so much in so little time, it just automatically takes over like every bit of your mind and your head, and it's just like
bam, bam, bam.
exactly, it's just all thrown at you,
Yeah.
all shots, and it's just like you got to be able to balance everything and not just like academics but also like outside of that and like your work potentially or whatsoever. So it's just since all of it comes at you all at once, it's like a direct hit at your emotional well-being, and it's like sometimes if you're not able to manage it, it might seem like overwhelming for some people. So I'd say like for me personally, like I'd say since it's like a big pressure and it's like the main thing in my life at the moment and it's not like there's co-op or whatsoever, it's like that is like the only thing that I can think about. And hopefully like in the near future it's like gonna ease out of it as like post-grad comes in and it's just like going to work and stuff. But as of now it's like since it's a big pressure, it just more so is like the one thing that's making the huge impact on like our well-being. So
Yeah, so you kind of touched on my next question.
Yeah.
How does the academic pressure contribute to like anxiety and depression in students?
I feel like just the overall expectations of like some of the programs that set on the students is just like a big factor in like how like anxiety or like whatsoever come into play, because like if we didn't have any of those pressures then like I feel like we'd just be like living a happy-go life. But like
Do you feel like there is also cultural pressure?
you hit me with that one.
You're the eldest daughter too.
Eldest, first gen or second, but yeah, like, never mind, my bad. Let me get my words right. But yeah, so eldest, second gen, yeah, and in a brown household, it's definitely a lot. It's like a responsibility to be like the best and like
successful
and like be a good role model all in all. Set the example for my brothers. So I'd say I'd say like that also I say for like in terms of cultural backgrounds, like that would be a big part in like a lot of like I'd say my peers and my colleagues like lives in university. And yeah, it's just like all the pressure, and since sometimes it could be overwhelming, it just could feel very crowded in your mind. Oops.
Yeah, for sure.
So do you feel any pressure to succeed academically or professionally, and how do you cope with that as you are in your master's and you are doing work alongside it? So
definitely, because I feel like I need to balance both of them in order to succeed, because obviously you need like the work experience, and then obviously you need to get the master's. It's like both worlds combined.
Best of both worlds.
Yeah, best of both worlds.
Yeah.
But I also feel like just also like the cultural factors, like I'm the first one doing the master's, so it's like, oh, I need to do this. Like I need to get that degree.
Yeah.
And then obviously once you get the degree, you need to get the job, and like I need to finish this degree.
It's a whole process and a half. So in what ways do social media and peer dynamics affect student mental health? As like that's like a very recent and like apparent topic nowadays.
What ways does it not? Social media is a bunch of BS. Like there's just a lot of propaganda that's put on there that obviously doesn't influence in the best way. And I feel like when you're in school, like I'm thinking like back in high school, like cyberbullying is so normalized.
Yep.
And I know schools tried to help with that by shutting down social media.
Yeah. Or like removing your phones. Or just
the internet
or stuff like that. I remember.
Yeah, I remember. I don't know if that's still a thing, but I remember that phase because it was like probably when I was in grade 11, 12 that they switched it, and I was like, oh, okay,
yeah,
okay then.
Yeah,
but it still happened when like we went home. Like cyberbullying still existed. Like
it was always there. It was very easy to spread.
Because it just needed more education. Yeah, for sure. Yeah. So we did touch on like cyberbullying. So how does bullying and discrimination kind of affect student mental health?
I feel like since it's very like widespread amongst our community, since it's like very easily accessible just to like go on your phone and just like talk a bunch of crap about another student or whatever, it could definitely take a toll on the person who's on the receiving end. So like if you are being bullied or like if you are being discriminated in any way, shape, or form, I'd say like it definitely takes like sometimes it could be a physical toll, but like since we're talking about more so like social media and stuff like that, it's like more of a mental toll. And I'd say like it just gets to a certain point where you can't handle it anymore, and that's when like people start resorting to like other stuff, or like either they try reaching out or they can't, and it's just a whole lot of emotions that roll in and just take over your mind. I'd say.
For sure.
Yeah. So how do you think cultural backgrounds influence the way students experience and express mental health struggles?
In every way. In every way possible.
Yep.
Because especially in ours, like there's just a need to succeed, to be the greatest. Because like also a lot of things that like second-gen immigrants suffer with, like not just suffer, but like struggle with to like, and like the pressure. It's like, oh, like our parents moved here for us to have a better life. Like we need to get this degree. We need to succeed.
Be good. We must be amazing.
Otherwise, it's like no
downhill.
Point. Yeah. Not necessarily downhill, but it's like it kind of feels useless for them to have moved here for us to have that better life when we're not.
It's like, why'd they have to go through that in order for us to like screw up or whatsoever?
Yeah.
So.
And then there's also just like not being able to talk. Because, like, say that you're going through, like, something in school.
Yeah.
It's like, hey, like, I can be like, yeah, I'm, like, really stressed with school. Okay, study.
Yeah. It's like you got to separate your school life with your at-home life or, like, your familial life because it's, like, everyone's going through whatever they are, through work or whatsoever. And it's just, like, yet again, you don't want to put that burden on your parents who have definitely gone through a lot to, you know, to get to where we are today. So.
And I know a lot of people actually can't talk to their, like, parents. Like, they just can't be like, hey, like, I'm just really stressed. Like, I just can't, like, I need
deal
a break
with it right
from
now.
school.
Yep.
Like, oh my God, taking a break from school.
Ooh.
That was, like, a big no-no in a lot of households. And I feel like I'm grateful that my parents kind of understood when I was really overwhelmed. Granted, they didn't know I was diagnosed with ADHD. Because I just recently got diagnosed. So I'm grateful for them to have, like, at least a small understanding to at least give me, like, a break. Like, I do, like, an assignment or a big test, but I'll just be super, like, overwhelmed. And, like, they were okay just... It's, like, a once in a blue moon thing. I wasn't, like, skipping school every day, guys. But, like, once in a blue moon when I'm, like, super exhausted, like, okay, like, you could stay home for this day. So I'm grateful that I had that, but I do understand that not everyone else had that in our community.
Exactly. And especially, like, when it comes to, like, gap years or whatsoever, like, especially after, like, high school, like, there's a lot of, like, negative ideologies around, like, taking a break or, like, not directly going into university or college and just, like, taking time for yourself. And, like, it's just so negatively appreciated, like, in, like, different cultures, and especially, like, I could speak for ours as well, because it's, like, automatically, like, an expectation, like, oh, you see, like, your older cousins or, like, you see your other friends within the same community that are also going into uni straight after high school or, like, straight after uni, they're doing their masters or they're going to a job, like, right away. It's just, like, taking a break just seems very controversial, and it's just, like, something that they can't accept, and then because they can't accept it, you're just like, no, I shouldn't do it, and then you just go through a whole, like,
roller coaster.
Exactly. So.
Yeah. And, like, I feel like gap years are a little bit more open now, because I feel like most people are great, like, most parents are like, okay, you have your bachelor's, fine. So I feel like after that gap year, it's, like, more acceptable. But even that, like, there are some people that are, like, totally like, no. I'm grateful that I took a gap year because I didn't know what I completely wanted to do. So I think it's really important to take that gap year, especially if you're someone that doesn't know like solid, like, what you want. Like, also, master's is not cheap. Like, at least, like, be 100% sure of what you want to do. Before you're committing. Especially if, you know, you're not balling. I mean, if you're rich and can afford all that,
go for it.
Yeah,
go crazy. Respect, do whatever you want and wish to do.
But yeah, so talking about the financial stress, how does that affect, like, student mental health and also being away from home and all of that and working part-time? Because I know you are away from home and you're also working part-time in school, so
and we're going through, like, loans and everything, so I'd say, like, it, like, I feel like I say, like, everything takes a toll on you, but, like, honestly it does. Like, they each have their own part in the toll that is the overall toll that's, like, go on your mind and body. And I feel like over time, like, as, like, for instance, like, it was related to financial stress, it's like as your loans come up or, like, as it gets to near to your, like, the end of the year degree, and it's just, like, all the stuff that comes, like, in front of you and you're just like, oh my God, like, gotta pay for this much. And then for some people who go straight into, like, masters right after, they're like, oh, I gotta pay for that as well, and then gotta pay for a whole lot, add it up. And then also, if, like, living away from home, you're paying for rent, you're paying for utilities, and, like, you're paying for your own groceries, and that just gets added to the bill. So it is a lot. It is definitely a different experience than if you were just given a full ride, or if you live from a home and you're just, like, going with the ease of just having home cooked meals or just being able to be dropped off to school or whatsoever. It's just, like, a lot more different than that. And that difference between what you're used to when you're, like, a child or whatsoever and into, like, what you're dealing with when you're an adult and, like, you're away from home, it's just, it could take, like, a toll on your mental health. And I'd say like that could also bring in like the anxiety of like what's going to happen, or like the uncertainty of like the future, and like, you know, with our economy and like everything going kind of downhill, it's like, do I really trust our government and whatnot? But I'd say like just all those minds just or all those thoughts just coming into your mind, it's just like it could feel overwhelming to some, but
frustrating.
Frustrating, exactly, about not knowing what to expect. But I'd say, yeah, a lot of that comes into play when you're a student away from home. So I'd say in terms of like the competitive environment, how does that in a university impact your sense of self-worth? Like, I feel like
I can probably speak from like my bachelor's, because I feel like I'm not really competing much in master's, but maybe a little bit. I feel like in bachelor's, you're just like, okay, like I need to be smart.
Yes.
Like I feel like GPA was really, really
enforced
shoved down your throat
onto you,
because it was like, hey, like you need this GPA to graduate, even because I know some programs had a fixed GPA. It wasn't like the past GPA. They had a higher one, and then it's like, oh, like you need an even higher GPA to get into master's, and oh my god, don't even get me started on med school. That is like nearly impossible in like Canada at least. And like I feel like that definitely did affect your sense of self, like my sense of self, like worth. Because if I got like a bad score, I'm just like, my GPA is gonna tank right now. Like, can I afford this? No, I cannot. But what can I do? I can't go beg the professor, hey, can you add extra marks? Like,
I know.
You know, so definitely that. And in my master's, I feel like probably just proving to be a good therapist. I don't look at it in like, I don't think it necessarily impacts my self-worth a lot. But like if I do see something that I'm like, oh, okay, like I'm not doing this as much as the other person. Maybe like a little bit. But like I also just look at it as like a learning opportunity. Like, hey, like I should look at it from like that person's perspective.
Exactly.
Their technique that they're using, it's like, great, I should implement that. So I think the shift in my perspective of how I view that
definitely takes a toll. I'd say like it is your personal journey. I feel like in your master's, like you definitely explore what it is that you actually like, and it gives you the time and chance to go and delve into that, rather than in bachelor's everything's just thrown at you and you just gotta go with the flow and just like get out of it alive, hopefully. But yeah, I feel like there's a stark difference in that.
So with the stigma and accessing help, is mental health something that is openly talked about with your friends?
I feel like
that's cool. Not, you know, I don't know if you got old friends that are not in school, but in school. Like in that setting.
I feel like ever since like high school and even onwards, like it's definitely like something that's talked about a lot. Everyone's been going through it, and everyone's also been reaching out to the professionals to be able to diagnose like what they're going with or going through, and they're able to like speak about it freely with like each other. So there's definitely a lot of discussions surrounding mental health, and it doesn't feel like it's like an alienated like topic like in our discussions. Like if we're going through it, like we make it known, and like if they are like if they need help or whatsoever, like they make sure to like let it out there, or let it out so that the others know.
There's like that transparency with like your friend group.
Exactly.
Do you think there is like any barriers or struggles with asking the university or seeking help within like your campus?
I feel like, for instance, since I am within health sciences itself, we do have a lot of discussions surrounding like mental health, and like I'm also like taking like a minor in like addictions, mental health, and policy. So it's like it's not like an unknown thing to us like students. It's like they do mention it like in every syllabus. They do mention it like in guest speaker, like whenever they pull up, they're just talking about like, oh, you could access this in our campus, or like here are these services, and this is where you could like go to reach out for help. The only thing is more so not just the accessibility of it, but more so like how vulnerable you could be with these professionals, because not a lot of them could like look like you or like have gone through the same like events or like whatsoever that you've been through in your own past. So if you're like
there's
you
not a
can't
lot of
really-
options.
Exactly. There's not so many options that you could choose from. And because there's not so many, it's like you can't really rely on that and you'd have to go elsewhere. Or like speaking on like some of my other friends is like their own experiences as well. Like they'd rather like talk with their friends rather than going to a professional first. But it should kind of be like, it shouldn't be just be the other way around, but it should be like you should be able to trust a professional. And then if that doesn't work out, then you can go to your support system. But
For sure.
yeah, so I'd say like we know about it, but it's just like, is there a lot of options? I don't know about that.
Yeah.
So what are some changes that would make it easier or like safer for students to talk about their struggles within on campus?
More advocacy and like obviously options, like you mentioned. Because I feel like if we don't see someone that represents us, we're just like, oh, are they
Do I really
want
wanna-
to understand?
Yeah.
You know, there are people that would understand, but we just don't see that transparency. We don't see much of that accessibility. And also there's just lack of comfort because it's not really put out there often. Like at least when I was in school, like maybe like a little bit.
Yeah.
But
Not so much that's like
much that I remember of at least. And I mean, I can't really speak for my master's because I'm doing it in counseling psych. So like, obviously it's like everywhere. So it's more accessible like with my program right now, but definitely in bachelor's it was hard. So I think like providing that would definitely change their game much better than it is now.
Yeah.
But yeah.
So providing more options and
Advocating more.
advocating,
Yeah.
making it more accessible for like absolutely everyone, for BIPOC.
Especially the wait list. Get some therapists in there. The wait lists are ridiculous.
They are insane.
Yeah.
They're very long, for months long end, and we only have 4 months in a term. So I don't know about some universities, but for all I know, it's maybe 4 months.
Yeah.
So within that time
Like
period,
how long can you wait?
exactly. Like I feel like for some people, like after they go through the waiting game, it's like their problems like automatically become resolved, and it's like, did we really need to wait for that long in order for it to be resolved, or couldn't they have reached out to someone immediately and be able to solve it like within a couple of days or even just a few minutes of just speaking to a professional? So I'd say definitely having more therapists would also like on site or on campus or even like
virtual.
or even virtual,
Like a little phone call.
little phone call, little Zoom call, little Teams call, whatever
Yeah.
they're available to do, like that'd be amazing.
Yeah, that'd be great. So let's dive into coping and like support systems.
Yeah.
So what are some things that you've done to take care of your mental health in school
I feel
or do?
oh
You're in school.
yeah, I'm still in
So
school.
what do you do?
What do I do? For my mental health, I feel like of course, like since just like what I mentioned, like everything's being thrown at you, it's like there's not really much time to put aside for myself to like be like, okay, chill out, Subanu, like everything's okay.
Me time.
I feel exactly me time, but I feel like when I get those like chances, which are like almost once in a blue moon, it's like I usually try to like schedule out days for myself where I'm just not making it like study heavy, and I'm making it more so like lenient for my schedule, and like not like, oh, I have to wake up at like 6 in the morning and like start doing stuff. Like I could wake up at like 9 or something and get something to eat and then go to the gym and then also like listen to music while I'm doing my work, or like just chat it out with my roommates or reach out to my friends. So like I feel like for me personally, for my mental health, definitely reaching out to people and stretching out my like schedule so it's not all cramped up like just within like a couple of hours, but like it's more so like the entire day. Just taking some break days in between. It was definitely harder when it's like when I had classes like every day in my last fall term, but like I feel like this fall term I do have like 2 days off, so like those days I try to treat it as like just like what I mentioned, like me days, but whenever I get the chance. So yeah, reaching out and taking some time with myself.
Yes,
whenever I get
that's
to.
really important.
Yeah.
Especially when everything's thrown at you. Even like 15 minutes just
Even 15
to
minutes.
take that little me time and just recharge.
Yeah. And I feel like definitely like like what I mentioned before, like taking walks or like going on a bicycle, or like in Waterloo we also have like e-scooters, like going around like the neighborhood just on them is very fun. It's just relaxing for as long as the weather permits.
That's true.
Hopefully the snow doesn't come anytime soon. But yeah, just doing activities that like take your mind off of things can also like help with mental health, and also just doing it with the people that you love and appreciate as well.
Yeah.
So in terms of balancing your work and academics, how do you manage the balance of work, like your studies, family, and your personal life?
I think it's much better now because my master's is more, it's like a flexible program. Like I can work and I can be in school. And I feel like it does give me that time to value more things in my personal life. Like I was able to hang out with friends more often after my master's, because I feel like in my bachelor's I basically lived at UTC. Like I lived there literally day and night. Like I'm at UTC. That is not much of a social life. No. So
your social life was UTC.
Yeah, that was it. that was like in my veins. But so compared to that life, I would say it's been really nice to have that nice balance now, and being able to have some me time.
Yeah, we love that.
Yeah,
for everyone.
Yeah, for everyone. Yeah, have you ever felt burnt out during?
It's like once a month.
Yes. So what are like some of the signs and how do you respond? Like obviously it's like little triggers.
I feel like once, like if I see like a lot of deadlines like coming up, and then I'm just like and I just go through a little spiral moment, and it's just like, oh my god. And then like I feel like the signs are more so like sometimes it's like not as noticeable as like, you know, if you're actually going through actual issues or mental health related issues. But yeah, definitely have been burnt out before, hence why I have switched programs, and like it's definitely been much better like afterwards. But yeah, just responding to the signs itself, I'd say just like take a breather and just ignore like what's in front of me immediately and just try to take it like one step at a time, because I feel like if I just take it in as like as it is and be like, oh my god, I have like 5 assignments this day and like the test the next day, then that would just probably stress me out even more. So like rather than to increase the stress, I would just like decrease and be like, okay, I could split it up into like mini tasks, and then just do some at this time, and then have a little break, or like watch the show, or like talk to my roommates, and then come back and do the rest of the work. Or like I also have like a couple of like my friends from my program, shout out to all y'all, that we just like spread all the work out with each other. And since like there's a lot of group work and whatnot, like we could also just like talk amongst ourselves. So I feel like definitely just taking one step at a time definitely helps with burnout.
Baby steps.
So what does rest or self-care actually look like for you right now? So we did speak of some things that we would do, but
watching shows, movies, reading, and like my favorite like non-screen time activities would probably be reading and like coloring, going for walks, yapping away with friends, or big backing with friends, to be honest. Like,
big back activity.
Like, those are like the solid stuff. Like I feel like just having that support system is really important.
Definitely.
As well as alone time to like, you know, where I color or whatever and read, and then it's like a good balance of both.
Good split up, best of both worlds.
Best of both worlds, exactly.
So how do you manage the expectations from your family, especially since you're a first gen grad student? Congrats. But like, how do you manage those?
I think I just like the pressure of having to finish. Like it's not something I could just leave midway. Like I have to get this degree. And have to succeed, obviously. Other than that, I feel like there's not like a crazy pressure, just because like I'm going into what I wanted to do. Like I'm doing what I want to do. Like I don't have any second thoughts of what I'm doing. I don't have any second thoughts about what I'm trying to become. So I don't feel a lot of pressure in like that sense. But yeah, definitely like, oh, you know, you're the first girl doing your master's. Get it.
Get it done.
Get it done. Yeah. Don't be dumb.
Bring it home.
Yep.
Yep.
Pretty much, yeah.
So speaking about your master's, what motivated you to pursue a master's degree in the first place, and how has that shaped your mental health journey as a whole?
I mean, was it really much of a choice? I can't really become a psychotherapist without a master's.
Yep.
And so
we love health.
Yeah, we love STEM, so I can't really
go around it.
I can't really license myself to become a psychotherapist without that degree. So I it's kind of like a need, but what motivated me to become a psychotherapist? Definitely my whole mental health thing, because I am very passionate about it. Very cliche answer, but I did grow very obviously into it. I created a nonprofit. It's just another step to what I want to like fight for.
Yeah. So how would you describe the pressure to perform or prove yourself in graduate school?
Probably like trying to be the best therapist that you can be.
Yeah.
And obviously that's not going to be like the case always. Like you're like, everyone's flawed. There's going to be things that you're going to kind of screw up, and it's okay to make those mistakes and obviously learn. Yeah. And yeah, I don't think it's like a crazy pressure.
So have you at any time of your journey experienced imposter syndrome? And if so, how have you dealt with this?
Just the jump from like bachelor's to master's, because bachelor's was so intense.
It's a lot.
And then I go into master's and my grades are like great, and I'm like, who is this? Who is she? Who is she? She's getting like a high GPA. Who is she? So yeah, definitely in that sense. But it's also just accepting that like my program is more fixed on like a certain topic or certain field, whereas my bachelor's, it's more like broad.
It's very open.
So it's like I have to do like courses that I'm not like, I'm never gonna do like physics in my life or calculus. Like, no.
Tell me about it.
So that's definitely the thing.
They need to take it out of their requirements to graduate for health or life side, because why?
Why?
I'm never touching calculus in my life.
No, I will use a calculator. Trust me. I will get a calculator and use that. But yeah, so what have you learned about yourself through this program, like your challenges?
I feel like I've definitely learned more about my work ethic and how I like to organize things, because just like what we mentioned, like when there's a lot of things thrown at you, you need to keep yourself organized in order for you to like move forward without putting too much stress on you. So definitely learned a lot more of how I approached like those type of areas, and even just challenges within like group work or just like any assessments, like how I approach exams, like how I study for them. I learned a lot of like different ways or methods that I could use, and like what works for me, what doesn't work, what I can take in, what I can't. And it's just a lot of like learning about like how my mind works. And I feel like I am both thankful and also just like sad that it sometimes it had to go in a certain way and not like the best way possible. But definitely I feel like everything is a stepping stone, and you gotta go through it in order to learn from it. So
give yourself grace, get others grace.
Yeah.
Grace. How would you, what advice, oh my God, what? What advice would you give to a first year uni student just coming in fresh?
Oh, fresh into uni.
Fresh, yeah.
Yeah. Some advice I'd give is not to like push yourself so much, and not to beat yourself up if you get like a bad grade, because I feel like definitely in high school it was much easier to be like, oh my God, I got a 90, or like, oh my God, if I got a 70 it was like so bad or whatever. Once you come into uni, girl, even a 50 is amazing, like in some quick cases. So I feel like definitely everyone, maybe you included, like, I could speak for myself and my friends, like, we've all been through that one exam or that one test that you failed in, like, first year, and you're just like, oh,
yeah,
26, like, how lovely is that? Like,
like
for
the
my
perspective
GPA.
of grades, like it's okay to fail.
Yeah.
It's okay to screw up on your exams
Yep.
and like your assignments. If you fail, it's not the end of the world.
It's not.
Your GPA will not tank that much. Like,
Yeah.
it will a little bit, but you could literally bring it up in your like 2, 3, 4 like years. Like, you're good.
Exactly.
You're solid.
And you're taking so many electives, so that could make
We've
up
all
for it.
failed something.
Been there, done that.
Been there, done that.
But yeah, so don't push yourself too hard. Make sure to keep some time for yourself and your friends and like your support system. And don't be afraid to reach out, and don't beat yourself up too much when you see some bad grades. So
I'm like,
I'm just like, wait. So what advice would you give to someone who's just starting their master's? Oh, flipping the switch on this one.
switch. Definitely it's easy-ish going than bachelor's, at least for my program. I'm not sure about like other research-based ones, but it's not as crazy intense as your bachelor's. If you're doing your thesis, some people do mention that it's more fun.
Yeah.
And in my case, it was nice to meet people and it was nice to learn something that I wanted to learn. So for someone going into master's, like, if you're worried about grades, it's not going to be as crazy as bachelor's. Like, you are going to do great.
Yeah.
And honestly, just try to have fun with it. Because I feel like everyone's just stressed out in bachelor's because everything's thrown at them. But with master's, it's a little bit more
lenient,
light, and like lighter than bachelor's at least.
Yeah.
So try to enjoy life.
Well, there you have it. That concludes the second episode of Uyyarvu in Session.
Follow us on all of our socials at Uyyarvu. Literally everything.
Instagram, LinkedIn, Facebook, YouTube, TikTok, you name it.
Yeah.
And
Twitter.
Twitter. Or X, what do you want to call it.
Whatever it is.
And don't forget to follow our lovely podcast crew on their socials, and we will definitely tag that below.
And see you in next section.
Toodles.